How does a club betray its legend? That's what fans wondered when Iker Casillas left Real Madrid in tears. How could a club he gave everything to let him leave like that? Why did one of football's greatest goalkeepers not get the farewell he deserved? And what really happened behind the scenes? Stay with me, because this is the real story of how Real Madrid turned its back on a legend. Casillas wasn't just a player. He was Real Madrid's heartbeat for 25 years. He won 5 La Liga titles, 3 Champions Leagues, 2 Copa del Reys, 4 Supercopa de España, 2 UEFA Super Cups, and 1 FIFA Club World Cup. A captain, a leader, a symbol of loyalty. Yet when his time came, he was pushed out. No grand farewell, no standing ovation, just a lonely press conference. So, how did it come to this? Was it the club's decision, the coaches, or was Casillas a victim of something bigger? Power struggles, politics, and betrayal. To understand why Casillas' exit was so painful, we have to go back to where it all began. Imagine this: a young boy from Móstoles, a small working-class town just outside Madrid, juggling school and his love for football. His father, a big football fan, often watched Real Madrid games with him, and like millions of kids across Spain, Iker dreamed of one day wearing that famous white jersey. But for most, that dream remains just that, a fantasy. For Casillas, it became reality. At just 16 years old, he was called up to Real Madrid's first team for a Champions League game against Rosenborg in 1997. He didn't play that night, but stepping into that dressing room, surrounded by legends like Fernando Hierro and Raúl, was enough to tell him that he was on the right path. Just 2 years later in 1999, that nervous teenager got his moment. Due to injuries in the squad, he was thrust into the starting 9 against Athletic Bilbao. No one could have predicted it at the time, but that game marked the beginning of something special. Most kids his age were worried about exams, but Casillas, he was stepping onto the biggest stage in world football, defending the goal for one of the most demanding clubs in history. And he didn't just survive, he thrived. In 2000, at just 19 years old, he became the youngest goalkeeper to ever play in a Champions League final, leading Madrid to a 3-0 victory over Valencia. While some thought it was a fluke, Casillas proved them wrong. He wasn't just a teenage sensation, he was a generational talent. His quick reflexes, calm demeanor, and fearless attitude in one-on-one situations set him apart. Madrid had found their guardian between the posts, and over the years, he became more than just a goalkeeper. He became their symbol of reliability, their captain, their leader. 3 Champions League titles, 5 La Liga trophies, countless individual accolades, and of course, the unforgettable summer of 2010 when he lifted the World Cup for Spain. That moment when he denied it's not age that brings the downfall, it's politics. By the early 2010s, trouble was brewing at Real Madrid. The club had brought in Jose Mourinho in 2010 to restore dominance. But instead of unity, his reign sparked division. Mourinho was a master tactician, but also a man who demanded absolute control. He wanted warriors who followed his orders without question, and in his eyes, Casillas' leadership wasn't an asset, it was a threat. The first signs of trouble appeared when Casillas, as club captain, took it upon himself to call Barcelona legends Xavi and Puyol in an attempt to diffuse tensions between Madrid and Barca during the infamous El Clasico battles. For many, it was an act of sportsmanship, a show of leadership. But for Mourinho, it was something else: betrayal. And from that moment on, Casillas wasn't just another player, he was an enemy. In December of 2012, Real Madrid faced Malaga in a crucial La Liga match. As usual, fans eagerly awaited the lineup announcement, expecting to see Iker Casillas between the posts, as he had been for over a decade. But when the team sheet dropped, shockwaves rippled throughout the football world, and Casillas was on the bench. His replacement? Antonio Adán, a solid backup, but nowhere near Casillas' level. This wasn't just a tactical decision. This was a statement, a power move by Jose Mourinho. For years, Casillas had been Madrid's rock, their undisputed number 1. He saved them countless times, won trophies, captained the team, and became a symbol of the club. Yet here he was, demoted without warning. Some speculated it was a temporary decision, a wake-up call, but others knew better. This was personal. Casillas was Madrid's captain, but more than that, he was a leader in the dressing room. He commanded respect, not just from his teammates, but from Spanish football as a whole. And that was exactly why Mourinho saw him as a threat. The tension between them had been simmering for a while, and now Mourinho had made his move. Casillas, a professional through and through, stayed silent. He didn't complain. He supported the team from the sidelines. But Madrid struggled. A routine match against Valencia in the Copa del Rey turned into a nightmare. A collision with his own teammate, Alvaro Arbeloa, left Casillas clutching his left hand in pain. The diagnosis? A broken metacarpal. He would be out for months. Mourinho now had the perfect excuse. Madrid needed a goalkeeper, and within days they signed Diego Lopez. At first, it seemed like a temporary fix, but soon it became clear. Lopez wasn't just a cover, he was the new number one. Casillas returned from injury, but the gloves weren't waiting for him. He had been replaced permanently. Madrid fans were torn. Some backed Mourinho, convinced Casillas was past his prime. Others saw the bigger picture. This wasn't about performance. It was about power, control, and politics. The rift within the fan base mirrored the growing divide in the club. Mourinho departed in 2013, but Casillas' problems didn't leave with him. Under new manager Carlo Ancelotti, he found himself in an unusual role, a cup goalkeeper. He only played in the Champions League and Copa del Rey, while Diego Lopez remained the preferred choice in La Liga. He still had his moments, none bigger than La Decima in 2014. It was the trophy Madrid had craved for over a decade, their 10th Champions League title. Yet, even in triumph, something felt off. Casillas wasn't the same commanding presence he once was. His confidence had taken a hit, and the writing was on the wall. His time at Madrid was running out. Then came the final humiliation. July 2015. After 25 years at Real Madrid, Iker Casillas sat alone at a press conference, tears in his eyes, reading out a farewell speech. No teammates by his side. No Florentino Perez, the president of the club. No grand send-off befitting a legend. This wasn't a celebration of a historic career. It was a quiet, almost forced goodbye. A cold, lonely exit for a man who had given everything to the club. Let that sink in. One of the greatest goalkeepers in football history, one of Real Madrid's most loyal servants, a captain, a legend, pushed out the back door. It wasn't just an exit, it was an insult. Before we dive into what happened next, if you love deep dives into football's greatest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It helps us bring you more content like this. And trust me, we've got plenty more legendary football tales coming your way. Now back to the story. Casillas moved to FC Porto, and guess what? He thrived. The passion, the fight, it was still there. He won silverware. He showed the world he still had it. Meanwhile, back in Madrid, the same fans who doubted him suddenly realized what they had lost. But life is unpredictable. In 2019, Casillas suffered a heart attack during training. It was a terrifying moment, but like the fighter he is, he survived. Football, however, was done for him. He retired in 2020, leaving behind a legacy that will never be forgotten. Years later, Real Madrid tried to make amends. Florentino Perez praised Casillas. The club honored him, and they even brought him back in an ambassadorial role. But let's be real, damage was done. No farewell match, no Bernabeu send-off, just a legend discarded. But here's the thing, Casillas doesn't need validation from Real Madrid. His legacy is written in football history. World Cup winner, Champions League hero, one of the greatest goalkeepers ever, and no amount of politics can erase that. So what do you think? Did Real Madrid betray Casillas? Or was it just football being its brutal, unforgiving self? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more football stories. Until next time, stay passionate, stay curious, and keep loving the beautiful game.